We're here today to talk about a new hose configuration we're going to start using here at South Trail. Something that I learned in my travels, and I've also seen it on internet during training. It's got a variety of different names. It's referred to as the bundles in some places, the Gassner pack, the Cleveland pack. The beauty of it, it's a really compact pack, hose bundle, as you would. When it's all put together, there's no loose parts flinging around, so when you're actually carrying it on your shoulder, you have a nice neat bundle on your shoulder. The other beauty of this thing is that you can put it anywhere, open it up, and deploy with water just like it is. There's no flaking out of the hose. One person can pull it out of its configuration when it's filled with no problem whatsoever because of the way it comes out. We'll demonstrate that later. Right now, Firefighter Pinto, Firefighter Smith are going to show us how to actually package up this hose from basically just the hose being configured like it is right now, just laid out on the ground. It's pretty simple. 2 people can do it. 1 person can do it with some training and some technique. We start with the hose and the nozzle, like so, make it about arm's length. We're going to do a 100-foot section, so we want to start a little bit shorter because by the time we're done, it's going to be a lot of hose. Now, as you see, Firefighter Smith has to do a little flip at the end. That's the only real technical thing here. But once you start watching, it goes pretty quickly. And you'll see at the end here, it's going to be a nice compact hose. So like I said, it's just a matter of, this is one of those things that's going to take practice in doing. The way the hose is flaked out right now, it's kind of giving us problems. And some people might think, well, it takes a long time to do. It takes a couple more extra minutes than doing a flat load. The benefit is when we go to deploy this thing, and you'll see it, 1 person can deploy this hose, and it's a fast technique. You put it right at the door, and you're good to go, and you have an attack line. As opposed to pulling our 200-foot pre-connect, we have 100 feet at the door of the fire, the structure fire, to play with inside the house. And now what we're going to do is grab our bundle straps. We're using backboard straps. With this evolution, it's 100 feet. It should fit on there pretty good. You can use your knees to basically tuck in the hose and get it nice and tight. It compacts down really good, especially once you get the straps on. And there you have it. That's a 100-foot section of the bundle. Like I said, this can actually be accomplished with 1 person. I've done it before. You have smoother concrete. There's actually a technique that you can take with some practice where you just basically spin it. But as you see by Firefighter Pinto's example, it's a compact load. You can shoulder load it, fits on the engine just fine. There's nothing hanging. There's nothing that's going to hit him while he's walking upstairs, while he's walking to the fire, wherever it might be. There you go. Now, there's several applications for this. Besides the high-rise, we're get out of the high-rise aspect. We have a number of garden apartments, large courtyard type apartments, long driveways. This has a lot of applications for that, or our 200-foot pre-connect sections that we have on our engines and our ladder truck won't even reach to the door in some cases with some of these driveways and whatnot. So instead, what we're gonna start practicing is actually grabbing our 3-inch with the gated Y off the engines and ladder, using that as our primary lay, so we have a larger water source, and then deploying the bundle at the door where the fire is, we can have a 100-foot section of hose to play with and actually go in and find the fire if it's a larger house, if it's an apartment. On top of that, one of the things we run into with our pre-connects is the S-loads that we have set up. You can shoulder load it, but after a while you do have to start deploying it, and you grab the nozzle and you're walking with it. If you're in an area that has a lot of cars, landscaping, what have you, you're going to be dragging, fighting that hose the entire time. Whereas if you take a 3-inch and you have someone that can shoulder load 75 foot, the next person can grab 75 foot if the next engine gets on scene, and we have a couple 100 feet to get to where the fire is. One person can grab this, one firefighter can grab the 3-inch and actually deploy it to the door with a lot less difficulty. So right now we're going to demonstrate that. For our first evolution, what you're going to see is basic operations day-to-day like we would have here at South Trail, with a 3-man ladder truck coming up to a residential structure fire. The Lieutenant Kirkland in this case, is going to get off, grab one of the bundles from up top. He's able to go place the bundle at the door and do his 360. In the meantime, Firefighter Smith, as a firefighter on the engine, is going to come off, grab the 3-inch with the gated Y, and basically take that hose, however many feet he needs, to the front door with the gated Y. He has a control device. At this point, Engineer Linsalone is able to charge that line without having to even wait for calling for water, as long as that gated Y device is closed off. That's the only thing we're going to check on here, is for safety reasons, you have to make sure that gated Y is closed, so the valves are closed on that. With that, the firefighter at the door and the lieutenant have the control on the water flow. Ready? And as you watch, the bundle will basically deploy out in the loop. There are minor kinks in it. It doesn't affect water flows. You can hear with the nozzler action and their actual water flow they have inside the building. The minor kinks work themselves out. The load pays itself out as they go. Now we have Firefighter Melton, Firefighter Pinto are able to come in with a second line, grab a second bundle, hook it to the other port on the Y. You have a line for exposure protection, a backup line, what have you. So we have 2 lines off of one 3-inch hose. And that would be the first evolution for a residential structure with a long driveway, garden apartments, anything where you needed to get a water source right at the door. And we have 100 feet of attack line actually to play with inside the house, depending on the size. Pick up that loop yours and just move it off the side. Pick up like a loop. All right. video because that shows you what happens with a flat lay if you don't flake it out. Ready? Let's go!
I need you to look into this. Pick it over. Top one.
Open it up. Open it up.
Water coming! Water coming. Hydraulic ventilation. There you go.
All right, so next we're going to demonstrate the S-load. It's our new pre-connect configuration that we're going to use here, South Trail. Basically, we're going to get the line all stretched out, and the idea is to get 3 strands of hose laid out. What you get to do is the nozzle is going to be about, figure 2 to 6 inches short will give you the best loop to grab so you have your ear. It's going to differ depending on which engine and ladder you're on. Obviously, they're all a little bit different as far as the hose bed configuration, but it should all go about the same. The idea is basically that this, when it deploys, comes off as one big shoulder load. You drop to the ground, the nozzle can be grabbed and taken straight into the fire building without having to do any kind of flaking. It's kind of similar to what we talked about in the bundles. The whole idea here is to get water fast, not have the confusion, not have the spaghetti on the ground with you get with flat lays. Flat lays are really time consuming. Really, a lot of places have gone away from it just because of that fact. It takes a lot of manpower. Flat lays have a tendency to kink up. You only see a flat lay usually these days on the 5 and 6 inch hoses for your large diameter hose, depending on where you're at. So there we go. That was the S-load here. You see these guys are going to line it up, folds up. And our final configuration is we have the nozzle going into the cup and a small little loop to grab, basically to get it on your shoulder.